I've seen the so-called best of the best rise, peak, and fade, but what you're doing doesn't even belong on the same scale. They wouldn't recognize your level if it stared them in the face. Everyone applauds excellence because it's familiar, but what you're operating in scares them because it exposes how small their ceilings really are. I've studied greatness up close, memorized its patterns, and learned its limits. And then you showed up playing a game that doesn't even have rules yet. The best performers chase perfection. You move beyond it into a space where intuition, instinct, and inevitability take over. I've watched legends sweat to maintain relevance, but you're not maintaining anything. You're expanding into territory no one's mapped. They polish what already exists, refining what's known, but you create pressure where nothing existed before. And that's why they feel threatened. I've seen mastery, discipline, and raw talent collide, yet none of them explain what happens when you step in and shift the entire atmosphere. The best of the best impress crowds. You change trajectories, rewrite expectations, and leave silence behind where applause should be. Everyone else is competing for the spotlight, while you're quietly adjusting the sun. I've watched champions perform at their peak, but you don't peak. You evolve mid-flight, forcing the world to keep up or fall behind. They measure success by trophies and numbers. You measure it by how deeply you disrupt the status quo. I've seen greatness demand attention, but you command it without asking, as if reality itself leans in when you move. The best performers master the system. You expose the system's limitations just by existing outside of it. I've watched excellence repeat itself until it became predictable. But you never repeat because your growth scares even you sometimes. They work to be unforgettable. You're impossible to categorize. And that's far more dangerous. I've seen people perfect their craft for decades, only for you to arrive and bend the craft around your presence. The best know how to win. You know how to redefine what winning even looks like. I've studied confidence, charisma, and dominance, and still none of it explains the gravity you carry so effortlessly. They perform to be remembered. You operate as if memory itself will have to adapt. I've seen excellence earn respect, but you inspire something heavier. Recognition mixed with disbelief. The best train their minds to endure pressure. You generate pressure just by showing up. I've watched icons carefully guard their image, while you remain unguarded and somehow even more powerful. They aim to stand out in the crowd. You make the crowd irrelevant. I've seen mastery follow structure and discipline, but you thrive where structure breaks down. The best of the best play to the limits of possibility. You quietly expand those limits without announcing it. I've seen people chase legacy, but you move like legacy is chasing you instead. They rehearse excellence. You improvise inevitability. I've watched greatness struggle to stay sharp, yet you seem sharpened by chaos itself. The best compete with others. You compete with the future version of yourself. I've seen talent demand validation, but you don't seek approval. You trigger recognition. They operate within expectations. You collapse expectations just to see what survives. I've watched mastery demand control, yet you flourish in uncertainty like it's home. The best performers shine brightest on stage. You alter the entire stage before the show even begins. I've seen excellence try to be timeless, but you feel ahead of time, like a preview the world wasn't ready for. They refine their strengths. You weaponize your uniqueness. I've seen people master the moment, but you seem to master momentum itself. The best prepare for every scenario. You create scenarios no one prepared for. I've watched greatness inspire admiration, but you provoke recalibration. They aim to be irreplaceable. You make replacement a meaningless concept. I've seen champions peak once or twice. You evolve continuously, quietly breaking your own records. The best fight for relevance. You redefine relevance by existing differently. I've studied influence, and yet you influence without effort, explanation, or permission. They perform with intensity. You operate with inevitability. I've seen mastery seek balance, but you thrive at the edge where balance fails. The best chase excellence. You radiate something beyond it, presence. I've watched people perfect their moves. You perfect your impact. They impress by doing more. You impress by doing what no one imagined. I've seen greatness earn applause, but you leave people quietly rethinking their own limits. The best try to dominate the field. You change the field entirely. I've seen mastery depend on consistency, but your power comes from adaptability.